Welcome to the Health and Wealth Power Hour, the podcast that provides you with the knowledge and insights you need to achieve physical, mental, and financial well-being. I'm your host, Harlon, a business consultant who's passionate about helping people achieve a more balanced and healthier life. Each week, we'll deep dive into topics related to health and wealth, including retirement income planning, innovative healthcare solutions, alternative funded health plans, and specific actions individuals and business owners can take to gain control of their finances, have access to affordable quality health care, and achieve peace of mind. We'll also be joined by innovative experts who will share their knowledge and insights on prevalent topics. So, whether you're looking to grow your wealth or improve your health, you've come to the right place. Get ready to be informed, inspired, and empowered. Let's get started. All right, gang, welcome again to another episode of the Health and Wealth Power Hour. We are super excited to have you with us today. This is going to be an excellent show. If you have ever had any pain that just won't seem to go away, there is an answer. And guess what? It doesn't always have to be another pill. How many times have we heard that is the answer from someone? And of course, we have seen huge problems with the opioid addiction that has happened in this country as well because of pain management. Well, all they did is manage to get somebody hooked on something else. So that is not the answer. We know that's not the answer. Medications are not always going to do what they say they're going to do. Sometimes they just make things worse overall. So there's got to be better answers. We know that there are. And there are doctors out there that have taken a very different approach, a more holistic approach, very non-traditional. We're going to talk to a gentleman today, Sylvain Mancuso, who is one of those folks, one of those clinicians that's out there doing things different out of the Mancuso Clinic. So what this gentleman has done is he understood the critical role of physical activity in rehabilitation and the overall health. He integrates exercise science principles to design personalized programs that enhance mobility, strength, and recovery. Another big part of this is your mindset. It helped him transform from a traditional physiotherapist to a holistic health practitioner. Welcome aboard, Sylvain Mancuso. We appreciate you being on the Health and Wealth Power Hour.
Hi, Harlon. Thanks for inviting me to your podcast. I'm really excited to share what we do here at the Mancuso Clinic.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the great news, folks. As you're going to learn today, you don't have to be right next door down the street from the Mancuso Clinic to be able to get the help. He has an incredible platform that he's put together online that you can access these different holistic measures to change your life in a positive manner. And as a listener of the Health and Wealth Power Hour, you're going to get a special deal. All right. So tell us a little bit about your journey, Sylvain. I want to hear how you had this traditional mindset, because that's the way you were trained, to the light bulb going off and saying, you know what, there's got to be a better way.
Thanks. If I can start from the beginning, I did my physiotherapy study in Paris, in France, a few years ago. I'm not going to say how many years ago. And when I finished my physiotherapy study, I was thinking that I can help everyone. You know, I learned, I was a good student, and one of my first patients had sciatica pain, you know, lower back pain with irradiation in the back and in the leg. And I, as a new physiotherapist, I opened my book about sciatica in physiotherapy, and I tried all the technique I can with this patient. But this patient was coming back again and again and again, you know, because the pain was better for 1-2 days, maybe a week, and she was coming back, and I was stuck and didn't catch what's going on. And at this time, I had the chance to work with an osteopath in the clinic where I was, and I chat with her and say, okay, I did everything I can, but the pain is still there. And the osteopath said, okay, you know, just send me the patient. I will see what can I do for her. And she saw the patient in only 2 sessions. The pain was gone. And I said, okay, why did I miss? You know, did I need to go back to school for the next 5 years, or I didn't catch. And she said, you are just looking at the symptom. You are not looking at the root cause of the problem. And the idea is why this patient had back pain and sciatica, And the explanation was pretty easy. The patient did a bad ankle injury 2 years before, and she was limping. And because of that, the lower back was flaring up, because the ankle was not moving and the lower back was doing the job. And the beauty of the human body is it can compensate, but you can't compensate for 2 years. And this patient was at the threshold and the body can't handle anymore, but it was the lower back who can't handle the fact that the ankle was not moving. And my friend and colleague did some adjustment on the ankle, the knee, the hip, and in 2 sessions, the pain was gone, because the issue was not the back, it was the ankle. From that, I jumped on osteopathy study, did my osteopathy study in France, and moved in Canada. And when I begin to understand the holistic approach on the physical side, it makes a huge difference. But when I arrived here in Canada, I think in France, we are pretty lucky. We are around, many people use like a Mediterranean diet, that it's reducing inflammation in the body, then people eat pretty well. But when I arrived in Canada, we had some challenge about nutrition. And I begin to see that the nutrition habit of my patient was impacting my result. And I begin to chat with them about their everyday habits, what they eat at what time, which type of food, and the inflammation level in the body. And we begin to integrate some nutrition advice to help. And we begin to have this program between the physical side and the nutrition advice to help. But nutrition and physical are really related with mindset. Sometimes you eat things that make you safe. And for example, I had a patient came to see me, I think 3-4 months ago, and I can't even touch him. He was so painful that just putting my hand on him was really was just impossible. And I said, okay, I don't catch why you are in high pain like that, And I said, okay, just sit down. And what we like at the clinic, we have time with the client. We know we spend at least 30 minutes to 1 hour with the client, and we can connect and ask questions. And I say, okay, tell me your everyday. And it's okay, the morning I wake up, take a coffee or 2 cups of coffee. So, okay. And, I eat some processed food. It was not the best diet and all that. So, okay. And I said, do you drink water and things like that? He said, no, I'm not drinking water. And say, but you what do you drink? And he said, I'm drinking Coca-Cola. And I say, you drink Coca-Cola all the time? And he say, yeah, because when I was young, my where he was living, the water was not safe. And the only liquid who was safe was Coca-Cola. And I said, okay, how many bottles of Coca-Cola do you drink every day? And he said, oh, around 2 liters every day. I say, what? I say, no, you can't do that. And say, we can use Coca-Cola to clean engine. You know that, you take a piece of metal really dirty, you put that in the Coca-Cola and it's clean. And you put that in your body all the time. And I said, okay, before we can even begin to touch you, we need to cut this relationship you have with Coca-Cola. And we use some mindset coaching, and we work together and say, okay, Coca-Cola is a safety things for you. It's feeding some human needs. What's the human needs you are feeding with Coca-Cola? And we explain him how to change this safety connection that he had with Coke, because in our modern city, the water is pretty safe. And I said, okay, I understand that the taste of water can be a little bit, flat, but it's way better than Coca. You can add something in it, some syrup or thing like that, but you don't need to drink, And our job, the biggest job we had at the beginning was to help him to drink water. I saw him 1 month after, the inflammation was going down, and we can begin to do some physical work. And when it was the perfect example to show me how mindset, nutrition, and physical are really related. And in the clinic and with my experience, I'm working a lot on posture, because for me, the posture is the foundation of the system. You can't ask the house to be straight if the foundation is not straight. You need to be sure that the foundation is good. And we work a lot on posture. And at the end, working on posture, nutrition, and mindset, it's like a triad, really help patient to have result. But my evolution from the symptomatic side to the root cause of the issue was my first patient with sciatica pain.
That's very interesting. It's kind of funny that you talked about that, but I can imagine. It really had never occurred to me, but I can imagine that this is a bigger issue than what we would consider, because there are still, especially in third world countries, a number of places where the water's not safe to drink, and so just naturally people are going to be drinking something other. And then here we are, obviously first world problems, right? Where our thing is, hey, you need to drink more water. It's say, why aren't you drinking more water? And a lot of times we don't drink more water because of what you just said. People just don't, I don't like the taste, or I don't, whatever. Well, yeah, but just get over it and drink some more water. It's just that simple. It's kind of just a mindset issue, right? But the nutrition side of it can truly be a safety issue in some places, in some parts of the world. So that's very, very interesting. So I'm curious how many of your patients that the biggest issue with their recovery or their pain has just been inactivity. We have a lot, especially since COVID, we have a lot of inactivity that people have set in. I mean, obviously we had 2 years there where people just weren't really doing a whole lot. And I know personally clients of mine that have had a hard time getting back in the groove, as it were, I guess you can say. A lot of people are now, man, they're out and they're going, they're doing stuff, but there's still some folks that kind of got caught in that rut and just can't seem to get out of it and get back to regular activities. They just kind of sit around and watch their shows, as it were. How much do you see of really just inactivity being a big part of the not being able to overcome the pain issues?
I think I could say 60 to 70% doesn't move enough. We have some patient doing a lot of sport, and sometimes they injure them because they do too much and not in the right position. You need to find the right balance between too much and not enough. But I think, yes, 60, 70% are not moving enough. But what I see is each time when I spoke with people, I say the lower 20% who doesn't do anything. They just often, they say, we don't have the time to do it. I have 2 kids, I'm busy, blah, 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 I understand that. But again, a mindset things. You don't need to add 30 minutes of exercise. You can stack in your everyday habit 30 minutes of exercise. And I do that often with my patient. I say, okay, show me your schedule. What do you do during the day? And she say, okay, I'm waking up and da, 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 da. So, okay. Do you think when your coffee is preparing, do you think you can do some squat around the kitchen? And say, yes. Okay, let's do while your coffee is brewing, you can do 3 sets of 10 squats. Do you think you can do it? So, okay, yeah, I can do that. Okay, perfect. When you walk to work, for example, can you park your car at the farthest part of the parking spot? And say, yeah, I can do that. Okay, sounds good. At noon, when you go to eat, are you going to take the stairs or the elevator in your building? I'm taking the elevator. Okay, take the stairs, And just that I have a bunch of patients come back to see me that have smartwatch and all that. So, oh my gosh, I did my 10,000 step today. And I said, did you walk or did you go out for 30 minutes for a walk? Say, no, I just did my exercise in my house or around my kitchen or in my living room, or bring my elliptical in the living room because I want to watch the show, but I need to move at the same time. Say, that's all. You don't need to add more time, and I'm a father with 2 kids and I am busy, but I can add some exercises during my day. Then I'm not going to add 30 minutes. I'm going to the gym, but if I can't go, I still doing my exercise. I have some weight around my desk. I do things, and people can do that, and it's just the mindset again about
Right.
I don't have the time to do it. Say, no, you have the time during the day, but you need to just stack your habits. I read a really good book called Atomic Habit. I don't know if you read this book, and he's talking about stacking habits, how you can stack together habits to be able to. But sedentary lifestyle is a big issue. We are not, my parents didn't have any back pain, because they were moving all the time. They were lifting things, walking, bicycling, many more active. And the fact that we don't move enough, it's increasing the musculoskeletal injury, like back pain, neck pain, or this type of things.
Yeah,
But
it's an interesting thing because people do have that mindset, right? So they have that mindset. I don't have time. Well, the interesting thing about it is actually you don't have time not to. It is a mindset, because if you think you don't have time now, well, by not moving more, you're actually cutting your time shorter. You're cutting your time shorter on this earth because you're not moving more. Obviously, I mean, I know you're in Canada, but you know what's going on in the United States too. We have, I mean, obesity is almost an epidemic here because people just don't move. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's so interesting how this has happened. We have all these modern conveniences and all of these things that keep us, that move us kind of without us having to move, I guess is the best way to say it. And I mean, we don't even have to go buy groceries anymore if you don't want to. You don't have to park to the furthest spot. Why? Because someone will bring them to you, right? Or you never get out of your car. Maybe you do go to the grocery store, but you parked in one of those spots where they just load your stuff up for you. And you don't even get the exercise of walking in through the parking lot and walking into the store and walking around the store of picking up your stuff. So everything just diminishes the amount of activity that we can do. So we can just sit at our desk on the computer and watch cat videos, or go watch our shows, or whatever we're doing, or just stare at our phone screen, which is what many people do. Well, there's no activity there. I will say that it is kind of interesting when you see people walking in the park nowadays. If they are walking along there, many of them are staring at their phone screen too, but at least they're walking, right?
Yeah, right.
At least they're moving while they stare at their cat videos and laugh at that. But it's an interesting dynamic of what we have become as a nation, just distracted. We're just distracted. And the numbers, continue to show that people just can't pay attention to anything for more than just like 20 seconds. And then they're on to the next thing. That's crazy. That's a mindset though, right? That is a mindset.
The biggest issue is the why, Do you have enough big why to move? We saw so many patients begin to really take care of themselves after they have a cardiac surgery, because they understood that they were really close to the end and begin to say, okay, I need to do something. But the fact that many people doesn't look at the big picture, what's the why, what do I really want from life? And again, you're right, it's the mindset issue, how you can change your mindset to really know that every day you are feeding your why. Because so many people are just looking for the evening. They wake up in the morning waiting for the evening or for the weekend with no big why behind. And it's a big thing too when we see someone say, okay, what's the big picture? Where do you see you in 10 years? Do you see you laying down on your couch eating chips, or have some fun and go around and visit other country and see your family or play with your grandkids and all that? And when we begin to push them to realize that the big picture is completely connected with their why, they begin to be more involved. And I think many people are not looking at this big why, then they have no motivation to do anything. They just stay and, as you say, staring at their phone, looking cat videos, without really thinking about what's the next step, where I'm going, what do I going to bring to my kids or my family, or what is feeding me inside. And if you are not, because if you look at the normal medicine, we are emergency medicine. You have pain, you come to see your physician. But not a lot of people begin to say, I don't want to have pain, I'm going to exercise, or I'm going to take care of me. And often we are just firefighter, people in couple go in couple therapy when it's almost too late. The house is burning and say, okay, let's call the firefighter. But how we can avoid the house burning is the why. Why I need to take care of myself, when I need to work on myself, on my couple, on my relationship with my kids, because my why is behind all that. And mindset again. If you don't you don't change your mindset in the vision you have about things, you will just look at short-term things.
Yeah. So let's talk about really the ultimate firefighter move here, as it were, as using your same analogy there. So when a firefighter goes in there, they're not really concerned, right? They're not concerned about what started the fire at first. We just got to get it under control. But unfortunately, what we see, especially in pain management, is there's never any look at what is causing it. We're just trying to contain that fire. And the best way, just ask many physicians, the best way to do that is throwing some medications, especially opioids, at someone. So we have seen how that works, right? That works real well, right? So we've seen the results of what it is to not look at the root cause, but just to kind of cover it up. Now, I also know, and I'm obviously you've probably seen this as well, that by doing that, there's also a very good chance that someone is going to damage themselves worse. They can damage themselves worse because they don't feel the pain anymore. They don't feel that things could be getting worse. They just, oh, there's pain again. I need to get a higher dosage. And so things keep going down that pathway. And I say all this to then come back and say, what type of successes have you guys had in getting people off of that crazy hamster wheel of pain medications and changing their mindset and their activity and of course their nutrition to just push that all away? I know it probably wasn't a cold turkey, but tell me, some success stories that you've had in getting people off of those medications and getting them back to a real life.
Recently had a patient, one of my first patients, when I arrived in Canada, he was 60 years old, something like young retired, and his life was cutting wood. He likes going in the wood and cutting wood. He has a piece of land and he was spending his time there. And he had back pain since 2 years and can't go anymore. Was just, for him, is the end of his life, because he said, it's my oxygen, I want to go there all the time, and we help him with his pain, and he get back to us maybe 2 or 3 months after and give me a hug. So, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I'm in the wood. I enjoy my life again. And this patient had back pain since 2 years, but we have another one came with almost 20 years of back pain. And in only 2 months, he has no back pain anymore, not taking medication, just taking care of himself. following what we did. We really work as a team here. You know, we do a free evaluation at the beginning, and we really tailor-made the treatment to be sure that the root cause of the issue will be assessed and addressed. Because we are not there to just give a bandage and another medication. You know, we don't give medication here. We really want to help patients to feel better. And we have a bunch of story like that. I can't say we have 100% success, you know, because nobody can't, you know. I will love that.
Sure.
But we really have people who just say, you know what, I'm living with that since 20 years and I can run again, play with my kids, play with my grandkids. I'm feeling me again. I'm not limping anymore. And when they be out of pain, all the system change for them because they can move, they can walk, they can enjoy life. You know, that's a big things for them. Then we have a good result, and this holistic approach make a huge difference because we try to keep our team in their genius zone. You know, someone is really good in soft tissue. If a patient has a soft tissue injury, we know that is the right one for him. And often clinician has the feeling that they need to do everything. But in our way to work, it's really a team approach where we can say, okay, with what you have, we are going to begin with osteopathy session, chiro, massage, soft tissue. You are going to read this course on mindset, this course on nutrition, this course on sleeping habit, because sleeping is a big thing too. And all that together make a huge difference. And I can see a lot of crazy results recently with patients with a lot of pain since years, then have a really good result. And at the beginning, when I did my posture program, I was thinking, okay, you know, it's just to support health. And I took 10 patients with chronic pain, but I didn't see them. You know, we just did the mindset, the nutrition, and the posture. And few patients, but one of them I remember say, you know what, I had shoulder pain since years. I went to see a lot of different professionals, but I'm doing your posture exercise every morning, and I have no pain anymore. And it's why we decided to see, okay, we can help in person, but we can help online too, because the mindset and nutrition is online and the posture is an online program. And we have other programs depending what you have. But you know, the holistic approach makes a huge difference. And at the same time, for the professional, is less pressure. He's not alone. He has other teammates around to help him. If he's stuck with that, he can say, okay, I can ask to him or her to help me on this one. But yeah, no, the results are far from what I was thinking when I begin to be physio, then I will save the world. It's really make a huge difference.
Well, you've had success, not just enough success, but you've had such good success with the online program that you're now offering it to other clinics as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have a platform called integrahealth.io because we understood that clinician has often a limited knowledge. You know, I'm good in physiotherapy and osteopathy. I have some knowledge in nutrition, but with this program, we bring expert knowledge to the clinic. They don't need to have their expert in the clinic. You know, for example, we can bring some knowledge about nutrition, you know, about anti-inflammatory diet or probiome diet, you know, to improve your probiome, because there is a big relationship between your probiome and your brain health, and your brain health is completely related with your mindset, you know. And we can bring all this program to other clinics to help them support their client, because we try to spend time 30 minutes, but often a patient just keep 20% to 30% of what we say during the session. And at the same time, it's sometimes hard to use the right language. we are expert in our field, and we are going to use expert language, then the patient during the session has so much information, then he can't handle more. And with this program, it's helping the patient to have access to this knowledge all the time. Then he can go back. Okay, I didn't catch. I think they say that he can go back on the video or read the article again. Then he can see what we say, and do I have the time to teach meditation to my client? Because I think meditation is a big thing. No, but the program, we have program for meditation. I can't spend 30 minutes of 1 hour doing a meditation session with my patient, but I know the meditation is helping for the stress. But because I don't have the time, I have the program who is going to help me to give information to the patient. And we want to help other clinics to do the same thing, because meditation is a big thing, stress management, productivity, healthy boundaries, because we have a lot of professional and employee, and be able to have healthy boundaries at work or at home is going to help the stress to go down. And it's a virtuous circle. The stress going down, they have better boundaries, they can feel better, and everyone is happy physically for them and for the pain, but in the family around, because the family around is a support system for the client, and be able to the client to be more comfortable outside with good tools is one of the mission we have with our online program.
So let's kind of go back to as you've went through this journey, and you were practicing traditional. You saw real quick, all of a sudden, you're like, wow, someone fixed something that I couldn't fix in a couple of days. But regardless of results, and you'll see where I'm going here in a second, regardless of the results that you've had, there's still people in a traditional setting that will say that doesn't work. No matter what the results may show, there's still people in traditional settings that will say, nope, you don't want to do that. That doesn't work. That's quackery, or you can call it whatever you want to, right? That's don't go see that witch doctor or whatever. What kind of challenges have you and your clinic faced from traditional side? Have you faced pushback, or have they just kind of let you do your thing?
We are pretty lucky, they don't look after us. They send us clients,
That's good.
Other clinics send us client, physicians send us client, they see our approach is different than other, and they like that. I think often is the ego things, and people doesn't want to see, therapist doesn't want to see the patient leave, because they have the feeling that if they go somewhere else and then they have results, the patient will feel that the first therapist was not the best one, But our approach is what you did with your therapist before is going to help us to be more efficient. In France, the medical system is, you go to the small town hospital and they do some tests on you, and they don't find anything. You are still sick. You go to the other one, a little bit bigger, not the big one, but you go and they do other tests, and they say, okay, we still don't know what you have. You need to go to the specialist or the big hospital in Paris, or the one really focused on that. You go there, they find the things, and they say, oh my gosh, next time I will go directly there. And say, no, all the work the small hospital did, and the medium one, and the next one, bring you, then they remove all the diagnostic. Then at the end, the big hospital just need to say, okay, they did that, try that, and it's the right one. But it's exactly how I see things, it's a teamwork. And other therapists often have this feeling, and I think it's the biggest pushback we had. It was about other therapists that were scared to send us patients, say, okay, you are going to have better results. Say, no, we are going to have good results because you already did a lot of work with him. And we just need to adjust few small things, and the things will be better. And the traditional medicine, again, I think it's more symptomatic medicine, it's allopathic medicine. They just look at the symptom and they don't look at the big picture. But when they see someone looking at the big picture, we didn't see any pushback or anyone running after us to say, what, I don't believe in that, or you are just charlatan and you just bullshitting people. Because we always, as a physiotherapist and osteopath, I'm a big believer in scientific study. I want to have all the things we do back up with scientific study. I'm not going to give something if there is not something in PubMed or any other big data about health and research that is going to back up what we are going to do. And because of that, nobody is running after us, because we always have scientific backup with every decision we take with our client.
That brings up another question. There is, I personally don't see it out there too often, but you look at all this science-based evidence and the evidence-based medicine, that everything that you're practicing, it came from somewhere. Where do you keep up, and how do you keep up with the latest things in an industry that's kind of under the radar, right? I mean, what you're doing is still kind of under the radar. Although I have a lot of clients that ask me about osteopath, they're not easy to find, even in a big city like San Antonio, Texas. And so how do you keep up with that stuff? Do y'all have like a secret group where y'all get together and, wear special uniforms and special knock and handshake and all that, or what?
Yeah,
You can't tell me, right?
Yeah, right. If I tell you, I need to kill you. No, I'm teasing. We have a good network. We work with other therapists, other naturopath doctor. We work with, I'm a big believer in thermography too. It's the evaluation of the temperature of the body to see if there is some inflammation, and inflammation is often a precursor of other illness. Right. And we have a good network of people. Then we work together, we share information. I'm really lucky now. I'm just working 2 days a week in the clinic, and the rest of the time I'm working a lot on the business and try to find more evidence and more study. I'm reading a lot. That's the big things. And but it's a lot of time outside of the clinic. But I'm a avid learner. I love that. I need to learn every day. And my goal is to help people. Then it's always pushing me to try to find new things, and find new study. I have a bunch of different subscription in different medical and paramedical newspaper, and I read. Reading. The good part of COVID, if I can say that, is there is more online events than we can access to, and but it's a lot of time to learn more things and reading and watching, and that's the. But I'm passionate about that. I really want to help people and make a difference, and it's not time. It's not time. I'm reading a lot. I'm reading, 3-4 books a month, and
it looks like you're sharing quite a bit of that information too throughout your website. As I peruse through your website, you have a lot of information out there, including, your different services, and of course, an opportunity to have a consultation with you or one of your team members as well to kind of talk about what you have going on. But I see that you also have a blog out here. You're keeping some stuff out there for people to understand a little bit how this stuff all works together. So you're not just gaining the knowledge yourself, you're actually sharing this knowledge as well. I think that's very important, because as anyone looks to go down a pathway, I mean, there are a lot of things you can do online now, right? There's a master class for everything. There's all these different continuing educations you can do. There's various, even different kind of medical things that you can do to a certain degree there. Everyone self-diagnoses themselves. Be careful with that, folks, because if you keep self-diagnosing, it's always cancer, right? It just seems like that's always the thing that ends up popping up, right? And it's like, oh my gosh, I just thought I had an earache.
I'm going to die tomorrow. I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's one of those interesting things. I've had literally people call me, clients call me and say, I don't know, can you get me to this kind of doctor, because I went on, WebMD or wherever, and it looks like I've probably got this. So like, what are you talking about, man? Come on, just go see your doctor and let them decide. Stop letting Google figure this out for you. It don't know. All right. So that actually
No,
brings up something
when
else.
I was doing my
Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah when I was doing my osteopathy school, and we had some medical course, and the guy was talking about illness, 50% of the school of the classroom said, "Oh my gosh, we all are sick and we have that," and I completely, don't ask Dr. Google, and I completely, you look at the symptoms, okay, I'm going to die tomorrow. It's done. I'm sure I'm done. I'm going to do my will now because I know I'm done. But now I completely understand that people need some guidance. It's why at the same time in the clinic we do free evaluation at the beginning, because it's the best way. We just want to help, and if we
Right.
can help them, we will go there and bring together the program. But if we can't, we will tell them. So you know what, it's not for us, go to see him or her. We really try to send the patient to others. I'm a big believer in naturopathic medicine, and sometimes I think you need more tests. Go to see a naturopath, or maybe go back to your family physician, because I think there is other things that you need to look at. And for example, we had a patient 3 months ago, a young guy came for knee pain, and the therapist who evaluated him said, he has a gut feeling, and at the same time, it was really a weird pain. He tried 1 or 2 sessions, the pain was still there. So go back to see your family physician and ask for an X-ray. And the family physician say, no, we don't need. And the therapist called the family physician, say, okay, it's really weird. There is something under. And the kids had osteosarcoma. He has a bone cancer. And we can't do anything for that, but we want to help the patient. And say, okay, go to the next step. And the free evaluation we do make a huge difference for that, to really assess the patients, okay, how we can help him, and what's the best path to recovery, because the name of the program is Path to Recovery. But if it's not for us or with us, we have no problem with that. We want to help people in any way. And it's why sharing knowledge is the best way we can do. Everything we read, everything we can bring, it's just, if you don't come to see us, no big deal. We are good with that. But at least you will take the right decision for your health if you go to see someone else.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about something that, of course, has just taken over the world in the last year plus 2 years, and that is AI. So how has AI impacted your practice, and are y'all using it in any way right now to help evaluate, or to even look for some more research? And what are you doing with AI?
We are developing a solution to help clinicians to take better clinical decisions. It's an AI who is going to be able to evaluate the patient with a decision tree system. Then is going to help the patient to be able to, almost the AI will be able to give to the patient the right path, with what you have is what you need to do, and the decision of the patient to do it. And at the moment, we are working on the algorithm to develop this AI system, because I think AI can help a lot on the red flag side. When there is something, then say, don't touch, go to the emergency, something like that. And we are working on a solution. At the same time, we're still integrating a little bit of AI, because We use that for writing purposes. It gave us some information, often give the framework, help us on a framework, the course, have the outline of the course, and we just use as a framework, and after we work on it to really do it as we can. And on the other side, we are working on another system for thermography imagery. Then we will use the AI to analyze the thermography, but that's another development of the clinic. But AI is part of the game. We can't avoid it.
I think it has to be. I'm glad you actually answered that in a positive way, because I'm truly one of those people that believe if you don't adopt it, you're going to be left behind, because there's just too much out there right now. There's just it's not going away, and because of that, it's the businesses that fail to adopt it, I think they're going to be the ones left behind, because you're not going to be able to be as quickly and pivot as quickly and really help folks. I mean, you're talking about a process where you can put into AI something that may have taken a number of different tests and a whole lot more time that can be done, very, very quickly. So I think that, I applaud you, Sylvain, for kind of being aggressive towards that. That's great. All right. So let's talk about how people can go ahead. I'm sorry.
We have no choice.
Yeah.
As you say, AI is here. We can't think that this thing is going to disappear. There is so many jobs who are jeopardized because of AI, but at the same time, for me, AI is like an exoskeleton to help someone to be a superhuman, because you don't need to lose your brain juice for small tasks. You can keep your brain juice for highly demanding tasks that only at the moment your brain can do it. And it's why AI can support you to remove your headache about simple things, but keep you focused on the right things. I'm sure in your financial area, AI can already do portfolio and adjusting everything, and you just keep your brain for hardest portfolio, something a little bit more deeper, than you need to spend more time and have a bigger picture. But for me, AI is there and we need to use it. It will be silly, if I can say that, to not using it.
Yeah. No, I really believe that it's going to be part of almost everyday life before long. So whether you adopt it or not, you're going to be affected by it without a doubt. Well, let's talk about how people can get a hold of you. I did mention earlier they can go out to your website. That is the MancusoClinic.com. You guys can go out there. You can look at all the different services they provide. You can actually book a time to talk with you or one of the folks from your clinic to find out if there is a good fit there. Is that they would go through that process, right? Someone would go through and talk to you to find out if they're even a good candidate for the online program. Is that correct?
Yeah, we do in-person and online evaluation. The people can choose on our website, and with the online evaluation, we send some form that is going to give us some information. And with online, we can evaluate the posture. We can evaluate so many things with the video. It's really easy now. And from that, if the patient can come to Moncton, New Brunswick, we can help them. But if they can't, we can definitely tailor-made the online program for them. It's not an online program, the same one for everyone. We are going to speak about sleeping habit, nutrition, all that. And depending what they are going to answer, we say, okay, you are going to have access to this, and that's your schedule, how you need to do it. And it's really tailor-made for each patient.
And obviously you are on a number of the social media sites as well. I have noticed that you have a number of videos out on YouTube talking about various different things. So someone could obviously get out there and learn quite a bit about what you have going on as well, correct?
Yeah. And we try to do video, I think 4 or 5 times a week with different subjects. I'm the one doing videos. Sometimes I'm a little bit late on this, so many things at the same time. But yeah, they can go on Instagram at Mancuso Clinic, on Facebook, Mancuso Clinic. They can contact us if they have any question. They can contact us by email at info@mancusoclinic.com. And the goal is really to help people, and health is wealth. And if we can understand how we can take care of our health, it's a marathon. It's a long run goal to keep you healthy. And if you stay healthy, you can enjoy life,
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So folks, if you mentioned that you heard Sylvain Mancuso here on the Health and Wealth Power Hour, remember you get you a special offer for that online or in person. If you happen to be up there close to him in Canada, then you can certainly visit in person. If you are down here close to me in Texas, you probably aren't going to make that journey up to Canada, especially this time of year. He was telling me he's looking at snow, and we're looking at 85 today. So yeah, a little bit of
No comments. I will not say anything about it.
Uh, so go out. You know what? There is no reason you should continue your life in constant pain. There are answers out there. I thought it was very, very interesting that you started off talking about someone that, through a traditional sense, you were unable to help, and you were doing. I mean, you were doing everything you could to help this person because you certainly cared about their health and you wanted them to feel better. But unfortunately, what you were doing was treating the wrong place, right? You were treating the back when the problem was the ankle. How crazy is that? I mean, think about that, folks. The root of the problem had to be fixed. It makes perfect sense. But whenever he turned to someone who was doing things a little bit differently, an osteopath, they found the problem and they were able to correct it. And the individual was pain free in 2 days. These are the things that are possible with some of with not just osteopath, but other types of alternative medicines that are out there and that have been created. Some of them have been around for thousands of years in some cases. There are clearly people that go both directions on chiropractic. There's people that go both directions on Arasti or acupuncture or acupressure or cupping, any of these things. And there's people that are like, hey, they're great. And people are like, that's crazy. But you know what? If it works, it works. And if it changes your life for such a positive way and you get out of pain, wow, what a difference that makes to your life. Being pain-free, being mobile again, able to be active again. It frees you so much. It frees you mentally to think in a very clear way, not in a pain-induced haze that so many of you out there, I'm sure are still in, without realizing what a difference it could make in your life. I highly recommend that you reach out to Sylvain Mancuso of the Mancuso Clinic and find out if there is a pathway for you to change your life in a positive way. Get rid of that pain, regain your life, regain your quality of life, because it's going to make all the difference in the rest of the time that you have here on this earth. And I promise you, it will be spectacular if you can get rid of some of that pain, some of that inflammation, and all of a sudden gain mobility again. What a beautiful thing that would be. Sylvain, thank you so much for being on the Health and Wealth Power Hour. I am a huge supporter of what you do. The fact that you can help people regain their life and the quality of their life, that's an amazing thing, sir. I applaud you.
Thanks a lot for Harlon and thanks for the podcast, because spreading the word, it's the best way to help people, spreading knowledge, give the ability to people like me to speak about what we do. It's a big thing, and thanks for you to doing that. And I know doing a podcast is a lot of commitment, and I really appreciate that you gave me the ability to come today.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. It has been our pleasure to have you on board. We really are big supporters of what you do. All right, folks, I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope many of you are able to, if not take advantage of this yourself, but be sure and let other folks know about this. Maybe there's something here they need to hear. Send the podcast on to them. Or if you don't want them to hear the podcast, but get straight to Dr. Mancuso, then send them like Sylvain Mancuso, MancusoClinic.com out there. Let them go and check it out. It can change their life. All right, a couple other things coming up. Don't forget, if you want to subscribe to the Health and Wealth Power Hour, you can go out to hwpowerhour.com and subscribe right there. You can also just find us on any of the regular places where you are able to listen to your podcast: Apple, Google, Spotify, any of those and more. I believe we're also on Amazon. You can find us there. And don't forget, you can also listen to our other series that we have. That is, Why Does Healthcare Suck? That's right. Why Does Healthcare Suck? The monthly audio room on LinkedIn, the last Tuesday of every month at 11 a.m. Central Time. We will continue working towards helping you understand what is going on in our healthcare system and the things you can do to avoid the pitfalls and roadblocks that are part of that healthcare system. If you want to know what's going on each and every week in the healthcare and health insurance industry, we are still continuing our Broker's Edge, the Kickstart. That is also going to be across platforms. You can listen to that on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, or on YouTube. That is live at 10 a.m. Central Time every Monday. The Kickstart, get your week started with finding out what is going on in the healthcare and health insurance world so that you're up to date and can be a better advocate for your clients, better advocate for your company, a better understander of the healthcare industry and how you can affect change in a more positive manner. Thank you for joining the Health and Wealth Power Hour. We'll catch you next time. We are out.